All right, everybody, we are back. It's season 2, episode 6 of the Always Relevant podcast. Got myself, Rell Cummings. Also have Dane DeMille on. Dane, what's going on, dude?
Better weekend, but still not a great one. We're going to talk about it, though.
No, that's good. I mean, I'm probably in a better mood than you are slightly, based on one of my teams, not necessarily all of them, but we'll see how it goes. So we'll talk about it. We'll get into it. We'll start off our normal segment. How are you and how are you really? And I'll go ahead and start it off. How am I? I'm all right. How am I really? Hung out, went to Michigan, went to a wedding this past weekend, had good times up there, gambled a little bit, hung out with some good friends and everything. So overall, I'm good. Kind of down. Had to be back at work today, but that's how it goes. So, but overall, I'm good, man. That's life. What about you? How are you? How are you really?
I'm doing pretty good. Got some wins this weekend. Love seeing the Indians stomp the Bronx Bombers in their last visit as the Indians here. So I got my tribe hat on before it goes away. How am I really? I'll tell you what, I got to tell you, I'm in a great mood, right? Great mood, because I knew we had this going on. I was in that situation where I was like, man, I got to get something to eat. I was like, man, because I live in an area where the fast food restaurants are terrible. It's the worst service in the world. I live by the worst Dunkin' Donuts in America. I say America runs on Dunkin'. If it ran on that Dunkin' Donuts, it's a quarter block from my place, nothing would ever get done. Well, anyway, I go to McDonald's. I knew I was like, man, I know I shouldn't do this. I almost quit eating fast food because the service sucks so bad in this area. Get in line. Actually got through the line, right? Didn't take that long by the standards in this area. All right. Got up, and then I got my food, right? You always got to check it because they always screw up. They can't even remember to put the second patty on a double quarter pounder. So they did that to me twice in 2 weeks, right? So maybe it's a sign I shouldn't be eating it. So I pull it out of the bag, right? And the fries look like the commercial. Like, they look so good, dude. It could have been a Christmas ornament. It looked so good. That's how good it is. And it tasted just as good. And I opened up, my quarter pounder was actually warm for a change. And there was actually everything on it that was supposed to be on it. And my nuggets, I got a 10-piece nugget because I got the 2 for $6 deal going on, which is killer, right? And man, every nugget, man, they look like the state of Louisiana. Oh man, they were so good. Oh man. So I'll tell you what, all the people I was going to beat up on this show today, it isn't going to be probably quite as bad, because I'm just like so impressed with McDonald's for the first time, because that place usually sucks. I'll just call it out as that place. That McDonald's on MacArthur Road sucks.
Dane's in Mickey D's heaven right now. Who would have thought Mickey D's makes someone so happy? Just like commercials. They're backing it up for once.
Hey, you know what? Like, why do a lot of people start their day going to these places for breakfast, right? No wonder everybody's angry around here, because the first thing experience around here is going to some of these places around here. Like, Burger King sucks. You can't even get to work on time because you'll be in a line backed out. There'll be 2 cars in this Dunkin' Donuts by me, and I don't even attempt to go through the drive-through because I know I'll be there for 25 minutes to get a coffee. So shout out to McDonald's today. That's all I got to say. I'm in a good mood now. I mean, I can't believe I had good service at McDonald's. So
I can't believe we just gave a big up to McDonald's. Like, that's crazy. And not for their breakfast either. It was for the actual lunch menu. Who would have thought?
Yeah, it was crazy. I didn't get my normal half fries that have been sitting there for 3 hours. Like, it was impressive. Fresh. Yeah, nice. I'm excited. So I'm ready to do this now. I'm in a good mood.
Hey, that's the key right there. Everybody hears it now. If Dane has good food in him, he's in a good mood. So hopefully these teams, they won't get the wrath they would have gotten maybe about 45 minutes ago.
Yeah, unless you're Chip Kelly, but we'll get into that in a little bit.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. But first, we're going to talk about your trip to NYC. How did that go? Let us know how it went from your perspective.
So there's so much stuff, it's almost like you can't travel anywhere, much because of the COVID and everywhere. So, and you're hearing all these rumors about New York City. So I'm going to give you an Ohio native's perspective on the current state of New York City, right? I haven't been there since I was in Brooklyn last year. It's the last time I've been there because, the travel in New York's really strict and everything. And Brooklyn was a dump, stunk like like when you go into New York City, it has a unique smell. It's a garbage smell, but it's New York City smell. Right. Like, if you're not from there, you notice it as soon as you get into town. like other cities, like I was in Charleston, it felt like Charleston stunk so bad, it felt like you were walking in the sewer this summer instead of up on King Street, right? And then I was in, I would talk about Baltimore, but I got nothing good to say about Baltimore. The place smells like a joint in the whole Inner Harbor. Like, how can a place smell so much like weed and it's right next to the ocean?
That's true.
Right? So don't go to Baltimore, but I digress. So New York City, right? Great. San Gennaro Festival, Little Italy. I stayed in one of the best hotels I ever stayed in. It was called the Den, something like that. I forget already. They even give you a teddy bear when you get there. Crazy stuff, right? Yeah, I gave it to Jackie. So she got a teddy bear out of the visit. Has a rooftop, amazing, like Noble Den's, what it was called. I recommend everybody stay there. It's right on Grand Street between Chinatown and Little Italy. Perfect spot right by the festival at a balcony overlooking. Yep. You could go to the top of the hotel. I sent some pictures out.
Beautiful, yeah, they're nice. They were nice. Those good views.
And the people at the hotel were even nice for New York City. So I'm extremely impressed on this visit because it's been about a year since I've been there, maybe a little more than a year. Getting to the festival, there's one thing I'd say about New York. I love you, Cleveland. I'm sorry, but New York's got the best food. I mean, it is just not even debatable, right?
I've never been there. I want to try it out sometime. I want to try it out. I've never been there.
Yeah, you got to. So the San Gennaro Festival is a big Italian festival. Me being a good Roman Catholic Italian myself, I go down there, right?
Right.
Cannoli king, right? Just it is the king of cannolis. I bought a ton of them, eating them all day long.
Right.
I'll go over what I ate. You'll be impressed, right? I had lasagna as soon as I got out the car. I hit up the lasagna, right?
And this food's gonna fill you up too. Like you're gonna feel it all day.
Oh yeah.
All day. Like it doesn't. Yeah. It's not even Chinese food. Something that's gonna like you eat it and like your full foot is gonna go. Like Italian food's gonna sit there all day and be with you all day.
Yes. So and it's nothing but restaurants. If you've ever been to Little Italy, restaurants on both sides, all the way down bars. So the whole street for the San Gennaro Festival is down there. And man, it's the best food. I ate lasagna. I ate a chocolate on chocolate cannoli. I ate a stuffed cheese pocket of ham. I ate this thing that was cornbread, like 2 cornbread pancakes with mozzarella in between. Man, it was killer. Oh, yeah. And I went to this Italian restaurant for the late night and got some lobster mac and cheese. And my girlfriend ordered French fries during an Italian festival, but don't get me started on that. Then I got a sausage sandwich, right?
Right.
Just, and then, right, all the drinks were great. I was trying everything. And I didn't even get a buzz because, I'm so stuffed with food. And It's 85 degrees out. So if it's 85 degrees in New York, let me tell all the travelers, that means it's 90 on the street. Sweating my ass off. You'd have hated that part of it. I mean, I was drenched. I'm just sitting there eating. I'm all fat in my stomach. You can see it through my shirt. And I'm like, yeah, boy, I'm just crushing stuff. So, yeah. So, and you know what the worst part is? Like you walk around New York City, right? And everybody's thin almost, except the Italians selling the cannolis and stuff like that during the festival. So you're walking around and everybody's eating. I'm like, dude, why is everybody in shape? Like everybody's shape. I felt so fat walking around the city. So if you go to New York City and you're a little body conscious, you got to watch out because people are in shape. They walk everywhere.
Right.
I think every other girl had a stomachless shirt on, walking around, jogging down the street. There's there's some kind of fitness thing on every block now. That's been kind of new since I've lived in the New York area about 10 years ago.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, so you got all these people like working out and stuff, eating all. I'm walking around, I'm carrying usually food in both hands. And if I'm not, I probably had a Peroni in the other, which is the good Italian beer we like. And it's just crazy. So New York is still king of the food. San Gennaro Festival, Little Italy, you got to go. If you're walking down the street and you start seeing chickens hanging in the window, you've gone too far. You're in Chinatown, so you want to pull it back. But there is good food in Chinatown.
Right.
Hit it up, but I try to stay in one area. It's like almost walking into different worlds in New York City when you're all different boroughs and stuff. So it's crazy. Yeah, but man, I was just going to say, what else? Oh, New York, you have to have the New York City COVID app. You got to download your information on it. They won't let you in nowhere unless you show the app with all your information in it. So it's a little different from that perspective.
Sure.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, man, you just got to go. I'll tell you what, man, one thing, like the terrorism units were walking around. Like, these dudes are no joke, dude.
I believe it.
There was like a dude with the Odell Beckham hair from the Giants day that looked like he ate Odell Beckham. Wearing a suit, like just jacked, dude. We're bigger dudes, and I'm walking around like, man, I won't want to mess with any of these guys, man. You know what I mean? It's New York City. But like I said, I still love the city. It was a good time. It's always got that unique smell. You're always going to take 3 hours to go 2 miles if you're in the car, so you're better off walking around or taking the transportation. But you got to come on out. You and the group need to come on out for a New York City visit. Got to do it.
So here's the question, because a few times I've been up to your place in Akron, hung out with your parents and everything. Your mom made us lasagna. So how does her lasagna compare to the lasagna at the festival? Remember this, your mom was talking about here.
Mom's is still the best. That's the real homemade Italian. Tell them how serious that is.
Hey, everybody, like I said, it's probably been a good 15 years since I've been there. I haven't seen your parents for a while. Probably the only time I stayed at your house up in Akron or whatever. But
yeah, when we were visiting, I came back in town. That's right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we came back in town. You were visiting. Went up there. Your mom made us homemade lasagna, had the garlic bread, had the salad. Everything was ridiculous. Like, it was, you got to tell it was homemade, Italian. Like, Danny, obviously his family's Italian and everything. So she knew what she was doing 100%. And, like I said, it was a great experience overall, for sure.
I'll tell you what, man, you definitely, if you got a girlfriend, you want to take her somewhere special, take her to Little Italy. Take her to the restaurants, stay at the Noble Den, get that rooftop view of the Freedom Tower and the city and everything. It's awesome. Like I said, I love New York. And I even loved it more when the Indians were stomping them Bombers this weekend, stomping them. Last visit to the Bronx was beatdowns. Now, Friday was kind of ugly, and then, it was home run derby for the Yankees, and Plesac was pitching. I was like, what the hell happened? And then they just stomped them. I was trying to get Jack. It's like, dude, let's take the train to the Bronx, man. I want to go to that game, but obviously she shot that down. She's like, no, we're here to eat. I was like, all right. So
it would have been kind of cool, though. Would have been kind of cool.
Yeah, it would have been, because I haven't been to see the Indians play the Yankees in the Bronx in a couple of years. So I was like, man, we're here, but whatever. But New York City, it's great. You can visit. Just make sure you do your research before you go in, man. You got to have that app. You got to do the stuff. You can't get in nowhere.
Right. So. No, that's good to know. Good to know. Dane's trip to New York from a Ohio person's perspective, that's what we need for sure. And someone else's perspective we got on something else coming up. Oktoberfest Beers. Instead of Lee's drink recipe, he gave us a top 5 of Oktoberfest beers. Since we were coming up on Oktoberfest season, Dane and I are from Ohio, so there's Oktoberfest everywhere around here. If you ever come here, especially Southwest Ohio and Cincinnati, there's Oktoberfest all over the place. So we're going to talk about different beers, different Oktoberfest beers that are out there. So the first one's going to be the Rhine Guy. It's by Rhine Guy. It's called Franz. And Rhine Guy's the brewery in Cincinnati. They have multiple beers that are down here and everything. So let's go and check it out and taste them and see what's good with that. The next one's called Ziegler from Mad Tree, which is another brewery out of Cincinnati. I think it's newer than Rhine Guys. Rhine Guys kind of an old school kind of brewery, but Mad Tree is newer and it's up and coming. But he still says that's one of the top 5 that he would mention. And Lee's the beer connoisseur, beer snob out of our group, so I trust his judgment. Lagertown from a brewery out of Chicago called Half Acre. Like I said, I haven't had it before. I'm gonna have to go try that one out. I'm pretty sure I've had the other 2 before. It's just been a while, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and track down that beverage and I'll see if I can find it. I'll probably make a trip to Jungle Gyms and get all these beers. The next one is Paul Lehner Feist beer. I don't know if I said it right, but he says in parentheses the OG. So I imagine it's been around for a minute and it's still holding it down as one of the top Oktoberfest beers that are out there. So, and the last one's called Copper Legend. It's from Jack's Abbey Brewery out of Massachusetts. So that's from Lee. He sent that information to me from Colorado. So like I say, he's our resident mixologist, resident genius, resident beer snob, all the above. And he's going to keep sending us those different cocktail recipes and beers that we should all try. So coming Oktoberfest season, Dane, you know what we got to do. Got to test out those beverages. So,
but you know me, I've never met a beer I don't like. I just prefer some over others, I guess we'd say.
That's probably true. And Leo introduced us those ones we've never heard of. So that's why, he's good for that. We're glad for it. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the first segment, college football rundown. Dane, what do you got for us?
We got some stuff to talk about here. I think we're going to talk about the Buckeyes, and I got to tell you, I'm not impressed. It was a game at halftime, and
they're playing Tulsa. This after you just railed Oklahoma for Bears beating Tulsa.
Hey, I railed Oklahoma. This win was almost worse than the loss to Oregon in a lot of ways. The fact that you know what the best part was on Twitter, everybody's crying about the calls. And you see what I said back, like the fact that we're worried about a couple bad calls against Tulsa is the real problem. Right? Like, come on, man. It's Tulsa. It's the smallest Division I school. The school, I think, is about the same size as the schools me and you went to. They just play,
it's a little bigger. There's I think 3,000 students there.
Yeah, it's a small school. So they come up to Columbus, 800 miles away, right? And, let's look at the stats. That Buckeyes defense is awful. So Tulsa's quarterback, what was he? What did I see he had? It was 428 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Tulsa only had 73 rush yards. But what do you think about that? 428 yards, man.
I mean, I guess they spread them out. I know Ohio State's DBs, they're young. We said a couple weeks ago as far as that. Maybe they're still figuring it out. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. There's some guys out with COVID. I don't know what excuses there are out there for them to really have. But Tulsa probably shouldn't be doing that to them. Or maybe Tulsa's better than what we think. Maybe we should just go ahead and give Tulsa their due. Said, hey, they're a decent football team, and go from there.
Usually,
I'm sorry, we can't say it. I said we were talking about Oklahoma before. They didn't play Tulsa. I don't think. I think they played Tulane. There's the difference. Yeah, that's my fault there. But still, Tulsa shouldn't really be doing this to Ohio State, regardless, in any situation.
Should never be a game. Stroud had 185 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. This dude's starting to look like a 1-year starter here at best.
I mean, but you got to think though, like he's doing this with, what talent's around him. Like on offense, he has talent, but I mean, on defense, it seems like they're struggling. He doesn't have all the help that he would normally have, like those other quarterbacks had when they first started playing. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt. In my opinion, I'd say I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And me in quarterback situations, you know how I feel about those.
Yeah. So, but I also think, the coaching's a little sketchy. Like they finally just started to run the ball. Like you're physically superior to the team. Run them over. Why are we messing around? They finally did that. Henderson had a crazy 277 yards on 24 carries, 11.5 average and 3 touchdowns. That's awesome. Not taking anything away from that. That's impressive no matter who you're playing. But at the end of the day, you're not going to do that to Penn State after what I just watched this weekend. You're not going to do that to Michigan. You're not going to do that to Michigan State, who to me is the shocking team right now of the year. So they got to get it together. All right. Let's talk about your boys. As Harbaugh continues the longest preseason in the history of college football with a game against Northern Illinois. Michigan won 63-10. They had 373 rush yards, 233 pass. What'd you think?
Hey, maybe Michigan's just doing doing these schools a favor, getting them their money by coming home, playing Michigan in Ann Arbor, funding their athletic departments for the year. Maybe they're just doing them a solid as far as that. They could have expected Washington a couple years ago in the scheduled game to not be as good as what they were a couple years back. You can't expect that. But Michigan came out. They did what they were supposed to do. They dominated. They scored like the first 9 possessions, and they came out and just basically bullied them the whole game. And that's what they should do against teams like Northern Illinois. That's how it should be. The score should be 70-something to 10 or 60-something to 10. The spread was only 27 points. That's how the score should be in those types of games.
Yeah, some of these big schools are having trouble with the small schools right now. Michigan hasn't. Michigan's pretty much dominated as a traditional power should against smaller schools.
Right.
So I got to give them a little love. Their preseason continues next week against Rutgers, but at least we're finally starting to get into a real conference, the Big Ten.
Hey, Rutgers, though, is decent. I'm pretty sure they're undefeated this year. Rutgers is decent.
Rutgers is Big East trash, dude. It's not. This isn't an SAT test. This is a football game, right?
Former Big East. So, Rutgers is technically the Big Ten now. They're part of the Big Ten.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. They're diluting it with these guys. All right, so the Big Ten just wants that New York market. So what do we got? All right, good. It was a good game for Michigan. I'm gonna give props where props is due. Let's talk about Oklahoma and Nebraska. Rattler, what do you have? 214 yards and 1 touchdown. Now, what did we see Nebraska do so far this year besides embarrass themselves on the football field?
Not much.
Anything?
Not
So
much.
Martinez actually looked like a quarterback in his 4th year of starting. He had 289 yards, touchdown, interception. Oklahoma only had 194 yards rushing. Nebraska was in that game. We watched it. I mean,
are they overrated?
I thought that was going to be a blowout. You know what? I actually had my Get Real segment already done before this weekend because I was definitely going to destroy Nebraska. Destroy them. All right. Luckily, somebody else stepped up in their place. We'll get to in a little bit. But I'm going to give Nebraska its due for showing up on national television and playing a pretty good game, right?
They did. They held it down, and ultimately, Oklahoma finally decided to show up. But it was never supposed to be that close, especially with how Nebraska played earlier in the season. It just wasn't supposed to be that close. So
yeah, so the Oklahoma, you stink. All right, where are we going next? Let's talk about Cincy. What do you think? 38
University of Cincinnati Bearcats against IU.
Real shaky early.
Hey, if IU's best defensive player didn't get ejected out of the game for targeting, I think it could have been a totally different game because he is the heart and soul of their defense. And you could tell from the time he left, it made a difference that he wasn't there. And UC went and they scored immediately on that drive. And then after that, they pretty much just, I won't say they dominated the game, but it was close to dominating the game.
And Penix, or I don't know how you pronounce the Indiana quarterback's name, had the 3 picks.
Yeah, that was tough. You can't have that.
I thought since he had too much trouble in this game, and they just didn't look ready to play. You know what I mean? Like it was really ugly early. They looked like they didn't even belong on a Big Ten field to start the game, particularly on offense, but they definitely turned it around. But
the second quarterback always starts off slow. He needs to get out of that mold. He needs to be ready from the time he sets foot on the field, leads team out there, and from the get-go starts scoring points. He can't warm up or whatever it takes like to get going. He's got to get going from the get-go.
Yeah, I think Fickle will get that stuff fixed. All right, we got to mention Alabama, Florida. I actually made my girlfriend stop in this bar in New York, right? I got to watch the last quarter. Like Florida's coming back because remember Alabama was losing 21-0. So I go in this bar, right? And it's packed club, like a nightclub. Doesn't look like nothing from the outside. It's just a huge nightclub of what I got. Sorry about that. I got stuff going on. And I'm the only person in there, right? That's over 22 years old. My girlfriend's like, I got to go to the bathroom. I was like, oh, well, I got to watch this game. You know what I mean? So I sit down, I come up, and the guy comes up to me, this dude trying to look like Hemsworth or something like that, he goes, all right, man, what do you want to drink? I was like, I'll get a red wine and a Bud Light. And he goes, and I go to pay him with cash. He goes, oh, cash, old school. Like, man, I felt bad. I didn't have the heart in me to tell him, if I give you $5 cash, you pocket that thing. You don't get the 44% tax in New York City. Never mind anyway.
Hey, he's not thinking about that. He's not thinking about that. Just, here's cash. It's old school.
He's messing with his money. You got to talk to these bartenders out there.
Hey, kids, be smart. If someone wants to give you money on the table for a job, you're a bartender or whatever, take that. For real.
Yeah, take that money, man. You know how I feel about cash tips when I was lifting. So anyway, good game. Florida almost came back and took it, right? So what do you think, man? Florida was tough, but
respect to Florida. It was way closer than I thought, especially how they played previous weeks. And I don't know if that just means Alabama took the time off or took half the game off, or is Florida that good? I don't know. Either way, Alabama looked like that they were not necessarily invincible. So I look forward to seeing if anybody else in the SEC, specifically Georgia, can do anything with Alabama, I guess, come the SEC championship game. So I don't know.
Yeah. So, I had to come in there and see that because I had the Buckeyes going. When you're out in the city and I got a bunch of things going on, I'm trying to watch 15 games at once while I'm eating and walking around doing all this stuff. And I ended up in some college bar. But you know what? I got to see the end of the game. So
at our age, you never want to end up at a college bar at our age. It's weird.
I just thought it was funny when he said cash, old school. So, all right. So let's get real quick. Clemson barely beat Georgia Tech. Only had
down, man. They've fallen. They've fallen.
Yeah, I think, you know what? We were talking about the rich were getting richer. And when we talk about the rich getting richer, we're usually talking about Ohio State, Clemson, and Alabama and everybody else, right? Clemson and Ohio State do not look good. Good. I think Georgia's taking the leap in there. Let's go to Auburn, Penn State. What a game, right? Penn State losing for most of the game, like 10-7, right? At the half or something like that.
Yep.
Came back, won 28-20 in a whiteout. Awesome atmosphere, awesome game. Big win for the Big Ten. That Big Ten needed that win real bad after Ohio State's clunker last week. What do you think?
No, I think it was a great win for the Big Ten. Put everybody on notice. I don't know how good Auburn is, but, there was the first time that Auburn had traveled to a Big Ten school and played at a Big Ten school since like 1937 or something crazy. So
is it really? Wow.
Yeah, they don't do it often at all. Big Ten teams go down to SEC quite a bit, but SEC this early in the year do not come up to Big Ten country at all. So it was interesting they did. I'm glad Penn State won. They're looking better this year than last year. I think a lot of circumstances happened last year was throwing that all out. But we'll see where they can go.
Yeah, Auburn was balling people before this. I don't know how great the competition was, but
right.
Big win for Penn State, as much as I hate to say that. Michigan State, the shocking team for me, took care of Miami in Miami, 38-17. That new coach I'm starting to be a believer early.
I'm not surprised, man. He had them kind of playing hard last year when he first got there. And, they were losing, but they were like giving effort. You can tell they were playing for him. You can tell he's kind of a hard-nosed coach, and they take after his personality. And I think, they're solid this year. I think they'll be really good next year. Like they're coming quickly up the ranks in the Big Ten.
It's funny too. Like, how many times has Michigan State, they've scored over 30 points now? How many times did Michigan State score over 10 points the last 10 years? If they won a game, it'd be like 10-3, 7-3 or something.
Yeah, it was grinding out. Yeah, they didn't necessarily have the offense like that. At least, maybe every once in a while they would, but it wasn't a consistent thing.
Yeah, so another big win for the Big Ten. Iowa took care of business at Kent State. So actually there was some good stuff for the Big Ten this weekend. Ohio State, though, continues to be the disappointment. Speaking of disappointment, I think that's all I got for college here today. What do you want to do?
Let's move on to the NFL, man. We're not going to stay here long. We're just touch on the Bengals, Browns, and give them maybe a really quick rundown, see what's going on.
Yeah, there were some great games this weekend. Some really good ones at 4:00. The Steelers lost. That's always a good thing for me. Browns hosted the opener. They played the Houston Texans. That game was awful to start. The Browns were getting pushed around. Houston was in the game, and then Tyrod Taylor does what he normally does, plays good, pulls a hammy, and loses his job. So Tyrod's out at halftime. Browns second half came back, started pushing them around, got the run game going. There's a lot of problems on that defense, and I think it starts with the coach. Last year, I as awful as the defense was, I was kind of giving him a pass because he came from the San Francisco system, I believe.
Right.
And he didn't have his players, supposedly, which, most people can't argue that wasn't a great roster defensively.
Right.
Now you got Clowney. Now you got Garrett. You got all those D-backs, right? You got Ward back healthy. Our rookie Newsom's getting beat. Ward's getting beat.
Yeah, man, they're struggling. They're struggling a little bit. And
Taki linebacker played pretty good in the first half, got the turnover on. I mean, if Houston doesn't muff that punt and the Browns get the ball right back and score, I don't know what happens. I'll tell you what, I can't say I feel good about it. You always want the win. Let's face it. Houston was 1-0. They beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, who might not win a game from what I've seen so far this year.
Agreed.
They played with a bunch of, I didn't even know Christian Kirksey was still in the league. He was their starting linebacker. He was with the Browns forever. They had Browns cast-offs from the teams that win any games, right? So, I mean, good for Houston. The guy they brought in, though, I don't know why everybody's panicking and talking about that. So the guy they brought in, that Davis, I forget what his name is, the guy from Stanford, highly touted prospect. For the NFL, even though he didn't really play because of the COVID and all that. He's like 6'4", 6'5", 220. Let's just let him play. Don't put Tyrod Taylor in. Get rid of Deshaun Watson as soon as
Tyrod Taylor was holding it down, though. Like, he was doing well. Granted, he got hurt, but when
every year
hurt,
that happens.
He was putting up points.
That happens to Tyrod Taylor every single time. He always pulls a hammy, right?
Hey, last year, the San Diego Chargers doctors poked a hole, gave him a punctured lung when they were giving him some kind of shot. He couldn't help that.
Yeah, you can't help that. But he lost his job there. He lost his job basically with the Browns and just all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Landry, it looks like a sprained MCL. I love Landry. He's not an elite receiver. Let's be real. He gets paid like an elite receiver, but he doesn't have that elite speed, right?
Yeah, he's
but he
better in the
does make
slot. He's
plays.
small guy, better in slot. He has good hands. He catches everything. But
I'm
he's
tired. Yeah.
not number one. He's
I'm
not number
tired of
one.
seeing Odell Beckham Jr. on the sidelines. I want to see him on the field. He's borderline getting Kevin Lovish to me. I need him on the
Hey,
field.
he had a torn ACL though, man.
Oh,
Everybody heals differently. Everybody heals differently.
It's time to get on the field. So, you know what? The good Stefanski's excellent about keeping things in house, right? Like disorganized teams that have problems, it's all out in the media.
Right.
Like, why is the linebacker from Notre Dame they drafted not playing? Like, why are they playing Mac Wilson, Taki when you took that guy from Notre Dame to be able to cover people, right? He's not getting in the game. Nobody knows why. Nobody knows why Beckham's not playing, right? Because there's something else going on there. The offensive line really suspect. I don't think Jedrick Wills is as good as, we think, and he's playing on a bum ankle. His backup's out with a tricep injury. They got to call some people in and sign some other people, but that's life in the NFL. You still got to show up and win.
Right.
They did win. They did take over late. Chubb scored a touchdown 8 games in a row now. Good for him.
Great for my fantasy team.
Yeah. So overall, I'm not. A win's a win. I'll take it, but I'm not happy. So I'm done with that. I didn't bash them today, but whatever. There's still mistakes. What'd you think of the Bengals this weekend? Not quite the ending you wanted.
Not quite the ending I wanted at all. I mean, it was a close game. Like Andy Dalton came down, took it down first drive, took the Bears down on the opening drive, and threw a touchdown pass to Allen Robinson. After that, it was really more of a defensive struggle. I thought that the Bengals had a lot of penalties that hurt them that they didn't have week one. Kind of really set things back. Kind of kept the drive going for the Bears twice on the opening drive. So the Bears probably shouldn't have scored, but there were a couple penalties that kind of affected how that drive was going and gave them more chances that they shouldn't have gotten. Like I said, overall, I thought the defense played pretty decent. It was a defensive struggle throughout the game. One thing, the Bears, their defense line was able to get pressure on Burrow without having the blitz at all. So like they were doing different stunts, the ET stunts or TE stunts or whatever it was. Either way, the left side of the Bengals offense line was having trouble with Khalil Mack and whoever the other guy was, forgive me off the top of my head. But they were causing them problems. And I know the right tackle, I saw him on skates quite a few times, and their communication was definitely not all there. They're getting pressure on Burrow. Another thing, the Bears, their defense they got exposed last week by the Rams by a couple of deep passes. They weren't letting any deep passes go today. They had like that 2 deep shell, and they're keeping everything in front of them. So, the Bengals running game I thought was decent. They could have kept it going a little bit more if they really wanted to. They just really didn't have the passing game going like they did last week against the Vikings. I think the corners of the Bears played a little bit better. I don't know. Overall,
didn't Chase get a touchdown?
Yeah, Jamar Chase, he got a touchdown. T. Higgins got a touchdown late. This is after Burrow threw interceptions on 3 straight series, on 3 straight plays.
Can't do that.
2 of them were definitely Burrow's fault. He stayed on the receiver on the one, and then on the first 2, and the second one he didn't even see the linebacker drifting over right into the throwing lane. So he was staring him down there. The other one, he got pressure out the middle, tried to throw the ball, got tipped. Bears got it. So, but after that, he threw the 2 touchdown passes. They were in it at the end, and ultimately they just ran out of time as far as doing that. So, with all the mistakes and the penalties and everything, the fact they were still in it at the end, that's still encouraging to me because I don't think they played as well as they could have. But they got to figure everything on the offensive line, which obviously we knew that was a weakness for them this year. So, hopefully they can figure things out and keep improving and protect Burrow a little bit more and get a little more running game, so he's not having to do just straight drop back and throw all the time. So that's what I would say. Still lean on the running game. Keep going with that. Even whether it's working or not, I think they still need to improve on that and get more than 2-3 yards of play. If they can get 4 to 5 yards a pop, it's going to help out a little bit more. Get them in those third and short situations and go from there. So that's all I got to say about that. I said overall, they did take the L. But I'm not completely discouraged.
No, and Brown's got the Bears this week, so be interested to see how they fare against them after watching Cincinnati.
Right.
One thing I'd like to say is everybody talks about the Browns having the best roster. Who was Baker throwing to this weekend? Dobbins Peoples-Jones, who had 1 catch, I believe.
With a
Rashard
fumble.
Higgins, who you could probably still beat in a race.
Maybe.
Schwartz, a rookie. Come on, man. Like,
Njoku. They had your boy Njoku.
something was wrong with. There's something going on there. No one's talking about. Like, I don't know if he was hurt or what. You got
Hooper. Austin Hooper.
Hooper's a sled, dude. Like, he's paid like a top end. That ain't no Kittle, dude. That's the dude that catches the ball and falls to the ground. Like, you know, I was mad Baker's trying to run around too much. Then he throws an interception, and it wasn't his fault. The receiver went the wrong way. Another stupid, boneheaded error. All the dumb stuff we've been watching the last 20 years. I'm still watching. Stefanski, get it cleaned up, for crying out loud. Because if you do that against the Bears, you're going to get stomped and embarrassed. Clean that garbage up. That's all I got to say. Sorry, I couldn't control myself anymore.
Who we have next? We still going NFL? We moving on? You let me know.
Well, I just want to say, you know, we got stuff going on today we're going to be talking about, but I will say this. There was a lot of good games, man. If you're a fan of the NFL, it was a good weekend to be a fan. I guess I'll finish with this. We got Lions versus the Packers. I don't know who the hell put the Lions on Monday Night Football, but they should be fired. Nobody wants to watch that crap. No one wants to stay up for games that start 9:15 to watch the Detroit Lions play, who's probably the worst football team in the league next to maybe the Jaguars. Who do you got tonight after I say all that?
I mean, I'm going to take the Packers, but I need Aaron Rodgers for fantasy points to score less than 30 points. I'm winning by 30. Only scores less than 30, I'll still get the win. So actually, no. He needs to score less than, I think, 50. I take it back. Either way, he shouldn't score 50, but I don't want him to go off and throw like 6 touchdown passes against the Lions, and 6 touchdown passes and a rushing touchdown. That'd be horrible for my fantasy team. But
I forget his record against the Lions, but you know what? Aaron Rodgers, like, if you ever had one of them jobs where you're working and you see that guy who just has that walk, that the I don't give an F walk.
Yep.
Just kind of walking around, just I'm here for the paycheck. Don't give a squat about nothing. Got that look on his face, that walk, like, I'm not doing nothing. That's Aaron Rodgers. That's 100%. The look on his face. He's that guy at the job, like, does that.
And he'll let you know. He'll let you know.
Yeah.
He's not scared to hold back that look.
Yeah. So. He's sitting there leaned back with that hair thing he's got going on now.
Yeah, he's trying to be in Hollywood now.
Yeah, so he didn't tell us to relax this time. So we'll see what happens. So,
right.
All right. Let's move it on then.
All right. The Reds' wild card chances. The Reds are now 3 games back in the wild card to the St. Louis Cardinals, probably the worst team to be behind in the wild card race. So the Reds are still next in line, but they're 3 games back. Lucky for them, they do play the Pirates, at least in 2 of the last 4 series this season. So it's still a possibility. I just don't know if the Cardinals are going to lose enough games for it to happen. I'm a little worried, but the Reds pretty much gave this up. I think they had it. They could have locked it up. And I don't know if it's injuries or they just weren't playing well, combination of both. Either way, I don't know if they're going to make it. I hope they do. You know, like I said, they have 2 series against the Pirates, 1 against the Nationals, and 1 against the Chicago White Sox. White Sox are good. I'm just hoping that they're resting players at that point in time, resting up for the playoffs. So you can kind of hope and pray that happens. But as of right now, it's not looking good.
No, it's not looking good. And what is that? How's that go? What's Frankie Lindor do? Thumbs down?
Thumbs down.
Stick a fork in them. Cardinals are that franchise. That's what they do.
That is right? What they do. I hate hearing about it. I hate the Cardinals, but for whatever reason, whatever team they have, they end up finding ways to win. And that's just St. Louis being St. Louis.
So let me call out Cincinnati Reds ownership, right? When that guy took over, he said he was going to spend the money and bring championship to baseball. And I never accuse anybody of being a liar, but he's lying to you people. He's lying to everybody in Cincinnati. He ain't spending no money. Look at that relief pitching you got.
Well, let's hope you spend some money on Nick Castellanos for next season.
Yeah, dude. Come on, man. Option. Yeah. We know the Indians don't spend no money, but the owner doesn't lie to us. He just says, I don't have any money. Well, he's lying about that, but he isn't lying to us that he's saying, you know, we're not going to spend the money. The owner, when he took over, said he was going to spend the money for winning baseball in Cincinnati, and he has not followed through. He's either made some bad decisions on signings. It always looks like they're looking for them discount players after free agency. Don't tell me you're going to spend money.
Players like Asdrubal Cabrera. I don't know if he's gotten a hit yet since they gotten him.
Why is he still in Major League Baseball? Why is Asdrubal Cabrera still playing?
I have no idea. I would have gotten someone else. Let Votto play. I would put Stevenson at first place or put Tucker Barnhart at first place. I don't care. I'll put Moustakas at first base. Doesn't matter. They have enough infielders to make it work. Why are they getting Asdrubal Cabrera? I have no idea. That experiment did not work.
If anything, we probably should be surprised that the Reds are still in the race at this point anyway. Yeah, but the San Diego's owner said he was going to spend money, and he spent the money.
He spent a lot of money, and they're still not making
pen to paper.
Still not making the playoffs.
Yeah. So that's it. That's what I take on the Reds. But
we're not talking about the Reds anymore. That's all frustrating and everything. Here's what we'll talk about. Dane, I have a question for you. Been thinking about it. Didn't know if we're going to talk about it. We're going to bring it up now. How much annual savings do you think you would have if your significant other did not shop at Target or Amazon?
And we're leaving the Reds topic because we don't want to be frustrated, and you asked me that?
That's the question I'm bringing up. Yes. I figured it was a great time. Yes.
Oh, man.
Amazon,
I don't even know.
If there was no Amazon or Target for a year, what do you think?
Man, I know I'm like most houses, and there's a package outside of my door every single day, and I ain't buying nothing. So there's only one, and the dog didn't buy nothing. So there's only one other culprit in the home, right? And I hope she don't listen to this right now because she's going to get mad. But no, there's a package at this door. You might as well throw Macy's.com in there too, because that shows up a lot. But oh man, the annual savings, I don't know.
It's
a lot, man.
We were gone. We were in Mission for a while. I look on the Ring doorbell. I see an Amazon guy on Saturday. I asked Elaine, I'm like, "But you order something?" She's like, "I don't think so." I'm like, "Well, we're getting a package." It's like, "Well, I don't remember what it was." I'm like, "If you don't remember what it was, like, come on now." Like, all right, so I've been coming home from work, before, and I couldn't get in my driveway. There's an Amazon guy in our driveway, like blocking the driveway. I had to wait on the Amazon guy. He's sitting there for like, no joke, 5-10 minutes. I guess he's going to try to find the packages in his truck. Had his earpiece, had his AirPods in and everything, taking his time. I'm honking the horn like, dude, we don't have to wait so I can get in my driveway. I'm sick of sitting here. No, he took his good old time, got out of the truck, had his 2 or 3 packages, moseyed on up to the porch, dropped them off, moseyed on back to the car, waved, and then took off. I'm like, dude, that's fast you can go. Like, I'm sitting here honking the horn at you. You're just sitting here moseying on. Some dude, man, taking his time.
You can't even get in your own house anymore. I'm going to trip over a box and fall on my face. I'm seeing FedEx and Amazon trucks in my sleep, for crying out loud. There's so much. I mean, and and I'm not the only culprit, because there's boxes outside of everybody's places out here.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. And Elena will say, she'll be like, "Hey, a lot of this stuff's for the kids, food, diapers." I understand that. I'm not really trying to count that stuff. But if I were to say, "Hey, Elena, would you go get like some of this stuff from Target, baby stuff or whatever?" I bet you there'll be at least one other thing that's there that's not on that list. Like, almost guarantee it.
Yeah.
So whether it's like a dress or a shirt or something else, I don't know. It could be anything. You never know. She's at least gonna look to see what kind of deals they have. I will give her this. She's a bargain shopper or whatever. She will. She'll find stuff on clearance or whatever, but she'll have to get it.
Maybe we have to do what they do with the kids and only limit them to so much computer time a day. Because you know what? Once you click on something on any of them sites, right? So what's popping up on Google the next thing you're interested in buying? Price decrease. Then you're getting emails. Hey, check this out. Then they're giving you emails that show stuff that's similar to it. And it just goes on. It's an avalanche of information. I don't think there's no this at this point.
Everybody's out there listening. Like, if you can relate to this part of the podcast, I'm not trying to call out all our wives or girlfriends out there. We're not saying that you're all doing this. We're just saying that we know multiple individuals where this is the case, and it's happening, and it's happening more than once. It's probably going to keep happening, because I'm not going to be like, no, you can't do this. You can't get that. That's messed up. I'm not going to do it. I'm just saying, think about how much we would save if we didn't do it quite as much. As much. I might have gone ahead and got this bathroom remodel or getting a bathroom put in here in the basement that I need to get done. Get some of the housework things. But
We're all going to need to get drop boxes for the front of the houses too, like businesses, in the way that they. But
yeah, no doubt. The way it's coming through, yeah, we're gonna have to for sure.
I might be guilty of some GVR packages showing up here and there, but those are mine. I gotta claim those, but
it is easy to do. Hey, Amazon, they are taking over. I will say that. But I will say for the ladies out there, if you guys go to Target, you guys like to shop around a little bit, find what you want, find what you like, whatever. It happens. I've seen it happen more than once. I've seen you supposed to go there, it's supposed to be like $20, come back. Oh, I spent $150 over at Target or something like that. Oh, okay, cool.
And my favorite is, but I got it for this price. It was $80 and I got it for $20, like to justify the purchase, even if you don't need
it. So true. So true. We've all heard the argument.
It's like I help myself. I mean, I'm never going to use it, but it was on sale 40%. I had to get it.
That's true. No, just because it's on sale doesn't mean you have to get it. Now, if your girlfriend, my wife, hears this podcast, we're both gonna be in some trouble. But we'll see if they do.
Yeah.
Or their friends might tell them, well, they were talking about you guys on the podcast.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask her this week. I'm like, hey, let me make sure you let me know when you're gonna listen to it this week.
Yeah, make sure you step away for a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm. Hey, the truth hurts, they say.
Hey, that's how it goes. Annual savings, don't know what it is. What to calculate that sometime. If they're really think about that. So, all right, rapid fire topics. Dan, what do you got for us?
All right. I love rapid fire because I get to put you on the spot. So this week is the music edition of rapid fire. Are you ready?
I don't know. I think so.
All right. Let's start out with, who's your favorite artist?
That's so tough, man. So tough. I mean, if I narrow down, all right, I was going to narrow down to Method Man, Ludacris, T.I., Jay-Z, Tupac, Biggie, or Eminem. I know that's a long list, right? So if I had to choose out of those guys, I don't know. That's hard. I'll probably say T.I.
Oh, wow. Going Southern. Going ATL.
Going ATL. But you'll see from some of these other songs on this list that I absolutely like the others artists as well. So, all right, go ahead. What are yours?
All right, so that's a tough one. I kind of narrowed it down. Oh, it's real tough. Got Led Zeppelin and Metallica down. I'm going to go Led Zeppelin, greatest rock band of all time. All right. Yeah, I love the Zeppelin.
Well, you mean tell me you're not a fan of who are they? Oh, that's Metallica, not Metallica. But never mind. Don't even worry about it.
Don't even worry about it. That's sketch your mind.
It'll come to me later. When it comes to me, I'll go bring it back up.
All right. Like I said, I'm throwing up some easier ones at the moment here. Favorite album?
All Eyes on Me, Tupac.
That would be my favorite hip hop one for sure. My all-time favorites, that's tough to say. I like Pantera's Far Beyond Driven, Metallica's Black Album, Zeppelin's Physical Graffiti. If I had to have one of those three, I'd probably go Physical Graffiti, but it's a tough one.
I remember, your favorite artist is not Nickelback? I thought you're Nickelback fan.
Oh, come on, man. Don't be talking to Nickelback. We should never mention Nickelback on this show. God, man. Come on.
I mean, you be closer listening to me.
Nickelback?
Yeah.
No Nickelback. All right. So, oh, man, what's the favorite workout song when we used to do that?
Yeah, back in the day, right? Rabbit Run by Eminem.
Rabbit Run, okay.
Rabbit Run is from the 8 Mile soundtrack. Listen to it, it'll pump you up.
Mine's probably anything from Kill Switch Engage, Babylon, or Last Serenade. I love that. Can't wait to see them with Slipknot here on October 12th. Can't wait for that. Come on out to Camden. All right. That's the only reason you would go to Camden, New Jersey, too, by the way.
Yeah,
and the aquarium.
Right. Nice. I remember that.
What we got here. 2:30 a.m. What do you want to listen to?
Am I listening at 2:30 a.m.? I mean, usually when I sleep, I'm listening to Mariah Carey, Pandora. That's what I'm sleeping to. Have one headphone in the ear, listen to Mariah Carey, Pandora. Other ear is open. That way, if I hear a baby crying, I can wake up as needed. Try to get the nice voice of Mariah Carey in my ear. That's where I'm going.
All right. Yeah, me. Man, if I'm leaving somewhere at 2:30, I'm gonna tell that Uber driver, put on the Lizard King. Put it on the Doors. I want to hear it. Give me some of that. That's what I want on the late night. I want to hear, put on the Celebration of the Lizard. That's after you've been out real late. All right. What we got here? It's the apocalyptic world. Zombies are everywhere. They're closing in on all sides. You got to hit play and go to work. What are you listening to?
Judgment Day, Method Man.
Yeah.
Hands down. And here to be the song, get hyped, they're all going down. Here it is.
Yeah.
Listen to words, you'll understand it.
Yeah, that's right. I love that video. What is it? I'm gonna go Gladiator soundtrack, man. Are you not entertained? And then it just goes into the symphony. Yeah, I'm going medieval on them dudes listening to that. I'll be like, oh, I'll be hacking my way through them. Just going. What do we got here? Your pregame song from back in the day when you were balling.
The Rockwilder. Method Man and Redman. That was always pregame song for sure.
That's a good one. My senior year, Slayer came out with their God Hates Us All album. It's got to be Disciple. That makes me want to run through a brick wall. Right through a quarterback right there. That's special teams. You put that song on right before special teams kickoff. All right. Call that my special teams song. And then last question, and this is the one everybody wants to know.
I'm nervous.
When you're making a move on your wife, what do you click on while you're making that move?
Something Usher Pandora. Bring it back.
Usher
Raymond.
Usher
Raymond. Don't know what song it's going to be, but go on Usher Pandora. We're good to go.
All right. So if I'm trying to be romantic and everything, I'll probably go some Jagged Edge. That was kind of one of my favorites back in the day.
Thought about that. Jagged Edge, or like, you got like, 112 from back in the day.
Yeah, a little that would be a good choice. And then if I'm just being crazy, I'm just gonna put on Chicken and Beer by Ludacris and go.
You can't go wrong. Can't go wrong
with Chicken and Beer. Classic album. Put it on.
Hey, that's extra classy for sure.
Hey, when you got your woman all alone and stuff like that, and you're hanging out, put on Chicken and Beer. Let me know how it goes. Hit us up on Twitter. Let us know how Chicken and Beer goes on a night.
I'm just thinking about some of the songs on that album, and I'm laughing. That's the song you're choosing. I mean, the first couple of songs, I don't know. It's just funny.
Classic.
I think that was it, man.
So that's our music edition. Let us know what you think.
Hit us up for sure. All right, get real with Dan. What do you got, man? Who's getting it?
So many candidates this week. I was thinking going OBJ. I was thinking going Carson Wentz. I was thinking going Kevin Love because just, I can't let a podcast go by with talking about how awful he's been to the franchise in the city of Cleveland the last 3 years.
Hey, the sales been updated on his items.
Oh, man. And I want to thank the Kev Shop for extending their 25% clothing sweatshirt offer here this week on Twitter. I'm sure people are blowing up the stores to get that stuff.
They should be.
My God. All right. So, but the biggest bum of the week, because he made us look stupid and I'm mad about it, is Chip Kelly. I was on the UCLA train. I was on the bandwagon. I said he turned it around. UCLA's back if they were ever here to begin with. UCLA, he actually did it. He actually turned them around. And then they're trolling, doing the dance in their blue sweaters on the thing. They're trolling LSU a little bit that deserved every bit of the trolling. And then you get beat by Fresno State. Right?
In the Valley. Fresno
40
State,
to 37.
They're inspired by Derek Carr's play this year for the Raiders. Inspired.
Oh, come on, Chip. Come on. Fresno State. Everybody was buying into it. Everybody was into the college football story of the year. Now I think it's going to be Michigan State. But, get real, Chip Kelly. It's Fresno State. Take care of your business. You've been there 3 years now. Everybody's tired of garbage. No one wants to hear about your workout programs and your protein shakes and the way you do things. Nobody cares except the wins. And you let Fresno State Bulldogs take you down. You should be embarrassed of yourself. Get real, Chip Kelly. I've had enough. Go. I don't like it when people make me look that stupid. He just did. Done.
All right. So we got that was get real with Dane right there. Now we got mess with your money with Rell. So first of all, Aaron Gordon's getting a $92 million contract extension from the Denver Nuggets. Hey, they came in, they started winning more games. Who's there? It's like, hey, we're gonna pay this dude. Smart move. Hey, good for him, making that money, getting that max extension. Not mad at him. Secondly, mess with your money. The Browns player we were talking about last week, I forget his name.
Ronnie Harrison.
Ronnie Harrison, thank you. The coach pushed him first from Kansas City Chiefs. Didn't matter. He pushed the coach back. He got that $12,000 fine, and the coach didn't get anything. So the players are up for, I guess the NFL players are up. They're upset about it, but nothing's going to be done about it. There's basically a memo got sent out to all the teams in the NFL saying, hey, tell your players, keep your hands off the coaches. No matter what it is, keep your hands off the coaches. And he's lucky that he didn't get cut or dropped from the team for doing that and causing more issues. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's a starter. I'm not positive.
Oh, yeah. He is.
Yeah,
he's one of the good players. He's one of our big acquisitions. For next year.
So it's just, for them, in NFL, there's not guaranteed contracts. So if it was big enough of a situation, there's someone that where the Browns thought they could replace him, they could easily, but we're not going to mess with it. We're not going to mess with like the headache of it or whatever. We're just going to go and get rid of you. Sorry, man. So you just got to watch that. NFL players can't mess with your money like that. I don't care if the guy pushed you first or not. You got to know who you're pushing. Keep your eyes open. Don't just push everybody. Push another player, man. It's fine. Don't push a coach ever.
Those contracts aren't guaranteed in the NFL. You can't sit there with that smile on your face like Kevin Love came to the Cavs when he gets that $31 million to do absolutely jet squat. What?
Hey,
I mean, come on, Ronnie.
Quit
messing with your money.
He's still getting paid. He's still getting paid. Whether you like it or not, the Cavs are paying him that cash.
Yeah, he's not messing with his money. He was smart enough not to take no buyout. He knows nobody wants him. He ain't messing with his money. He's going to sit there and take that $60 million like a champ.
That's right.
Doing nothing.
Smart
no matter
man.
How bad he's shamed.
Smart man.
So, but yeah, Ronnie Harrison, quit messing with your money. You should That's just typical Browns football, though. Nothing's changed. I would expect anything less.
Hey, up next, coach from Portland State sent out a message to all the students that if they come to the football game this past weekend, that there'll be free beer all game for all students that came to it. I'm not sure if it really happened or not. I'm not sure how many students went to the game, but that's incentive to a lot of poor college students. They have nothing else to do on a Saturday. I don't know how good Portland State's football team is. I'm guessing not that good because he had to bribe them with beer for the whole game to get them to show up to the game on a Saturday. What else are kids doing on a Saturday besides hanging out? They're going to hang out and go to the football game. Besides that, if you're a college student, what else you're doing on a Saturday during football season? I don't know. If you're not going to football games, they must not be that good or you don't have a team. So that's money because I don't know if that return on investment is worth it or not. I don't know if he paid for it out of his pocket or there's someone in the athletic department cutting checks. I don't know what he had to do or say to talk them into cutting that check. That's what they were doing. Either way, I can't believe the NCAA is really happy about it, but what can they do at this point? So
I'd love to ask my old head coach, Coach Holloway, what he thought about that.
I mean, yeah, that's interesting.
Like, Coach, why don't you? I wonder if we should start a thing where the coaches have to buy beer for the students at every university. Nick Saban can afford it.
He can afford it. Yeah, he can afford to buy beer every game.
Yeah, Urban Meyer can afford it at USC next year. Who else can afford it? Harbaugh can afford that. He can't promise you good football, but he can afford to get you some beer.
Hey, Harbaugh took a pay cut. In the most recent extension of his contract. So he brought that back down, reeled it back into something more because he didn't earn the contract that he originally signed. He knows that.
So did you hear that, Michigan? You're getting Natty Light, not Bud Light. So
hey, don't hate on Natty Light. Don't hate on Natty. Well, yeah, it's pretty bad. It's like water, but we won't talk about that.
Yeah.
Lastly, kid messing his money. Kid over in England. His parents said they didn't want him going to the Euro soccer championships or whatever. He said he wasn't going to go. He snuck in with a bunch of friends anyway. Went to the game. He came back to a picture that was framed of him that was on the news at the game. So messed his money because he probably messed with his allowance for a little bit. I'm guessing he probably got in some trouble. Even though his parents had to laugh about it, still, why take a chance to mess your money unless the game was worth it? If it was worth it, I'm not condoning anything, but his parents were nice enough to go ahead and frame up the picture, so they got some kind of humor out of it. But still, mess your money because they're like, you know what? You're going to do that. We're not going to pay for a while. You can go ahead and work for free in our house So you won't be getting any kind of chore or getting kind of allowances or any kind of extra money. You can earn that, and we'll pay you maybe at some point in time. So don't mess your money, kids, unless you think it's worth it. Look at the consequences first. If you know that Euro game is worth it, I'm all for it. But if it's not, don't make that mistake.
Oh, man, don't get cut off from the allowance.
So, all right, hey, that's it, man. We ran through those topics pretty quick. So, appreciate it. We had a good time. Like I said, reach out to us on Twitter. You got me at Francis1122. You got Dane at D DeMayo on Twitter. Like I said, on Facebook, find us at Always Relevant. You can type in at Always Relevant as ALWAYS RELLEVENT. We'll be out there posting stuff on Instagram, post stuff on Facebook, posting stuff on Twitter. Like I said, we have everything coming out on YouTube. You can find that probably under my channel, but under you Google Always Relevant and YouTube, you'll find it. It's pretty easy to find and track down as far as that. And then you see me and Dane talking basically through the Zoom call, and you can see our wonderful faces if you really are interested in doing so. If not, no big deal. So that's all we got. Dane, you got anything else for the people?
One more thing, man. I'm going to shout out my alma mater, Powell Wesleyan Battling Bishops, your old ex-teammate, Tom Watts, the coach, 3-0, big win over Worcester in an undefeated game, 3-0 to start the season. I'm happy for it. I like to see it. That's what I got, man.
Hey, there you go. There you go, Tommy. Good work, Tommy Watts. Lead them up, coach them right. Good old Hanover. They won last week as well, this past weekend, so they're 2-1. Coach Theobald, Papa Theo, has them going in the right direction. I believe Shane Cohn, the running back, he tied the career rushing touchdowns records for Hanover, so he's going to be breaking that probably very soon. Really good player. I know he was getting looked at by NFL for a little bit, so look forward to seeing what happens with him going forward. So until then, Dane, have fun, man. It was good times. Hopefully everybody listening had a great time too. And until then, we'll see you next week. Later.